Hello, you guys, and welcome back. I am actually really excited about this episode, mostly because I'm going to rant at you basically for the next 20 minutes. So if you're on your way to work, if you are on your way to just do something amazing and fabulous and just high achieving and all the things, this is the perfect episode for you. Actually, not really, but I did want to do an episode on this because I obviously, as a business consultant, as a business coach, I have a lot of clients and I meet with my clients pretty much on a weekly basis. And we had, after this very amazing trip to Canada, where I had all these just like feelings and I was kind of like in my zone, I had a little bit of like a feelings dump on them, I guess you could call it. And it was wild to me how many people messaged me after and they're like, that was the best call we've ever had. Even though we talked nothing about strategy, we talked nothing about, content plans or any of that shit or sales scripts. Like we talked nothing business besides just the way we feel and our fears. And there was a fear, there was a feeling that everyone had that finally people said on the fucking call, which I already knew existed. Because I will have my clients, they'll privately DM me when they're like struggling with something and they're like, I didn't want to put this in the group because like I'm afraid people are going to judge me. And finally everyone got their head out of their fucking asshole and literally just on this call shared it. But it is just insane to me how many of you guys, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you're afraid to say that you've ever made a mistake because you think for some reason that diminishes your success or knowledge. I'll give you guys a couple examples. I have a couple clients. There's actually like 4 different situations like this where my clients like know each other personally. And my client was messaging me and saying like, I'm so afraid this one girl's in the program and she knows me, really well. And I thought she'd hire me one day. So I don't want to put in the group that I'm struggling to make sales because she's going to think that I'm not very good at my job. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, can you give me some context? She's like, I'm afraid that if I say that I'm really struggling, that, that's going to like diminish what she sees in me. I think that's going to like poke holes in like my confidence. And I'm like, but you're not a sales coach. And she's like, so? I'm like, so why would she worry about how consistent your sales are? Like your job is this. So like, what do you mean? I had another client, same thing. I'm afraid that if I say that I'm struggling around marketing, which is like my greatest asset, that people are going to judge me. And I said, has a professional baseball player that is known for being an amazing batter ever struck out? She said, yeah. I said, okay. Has Taylor Swift ever tripped on stage? Yeah. Okay. Every fucking person is not only in a period of like every fucking thing is working. Like I think it's crazy. And guys, I want to be very honest though. I struggle with this too, but it's really like gotten away from me this last year, like this like fear around like I can't say that I've been struggling because I just at this point I'm like, that's so stupid to even care about that. But you have to be able to get to yourself to that point. Every successful person in the world has tripped, has fallen. I mean, Taylor Swift was literally fucking canceled for an entire year. Like people were attacking her character for an entire year. And now people praise her as if she's the most amazing person in the world. By the way, I love Taylor Swift, so I was not saying that sarcastically. She's incredible. Fuck anyone who does not like her, but I love her. But seriously, like her entire reputation was in the trash. In the trash. And that bitch came back and made a Reputation album, which is one of the most highly anticipated, redesign of the, I'm just like, I can't even freaking believe it. Like how often you guys are so in your assholes about this. Anyway, I could go on like a rant about it, but I also too want to like stay in the positivity zone because I get it. I understand that we want people to love us and see us as champions. We want people to see us as these amazing people that just have figured it all out. But I need you guys to understand that no one has figured it all out. No one, including me. I literally have had successes that people put on this pedestal as like, oh my gosh, she's made it. And there are many days where I'm like, I feel really disaligned here. Or I have been posting what used to make me sales every single day and I haven't gotten an inquiry in 4 or 5 days. Like, guys, I am not perfect at business. That's not why people hire me as a business coach. You might be a web designer and you might make a design and your client feels totally not aligned with it and they hate you for it. It's going to happen. Doesn't mean you're a bad web designer. You could be in corporate and be an amazing salesperson, and that month you fucking destroy your quota, and then the next month you can't sell for shit, and every time you call someone, you're getting massive rejection. That doesn't take away what you've accomplished. I had a client who was like, I'm going to take off 6 months for maternity leave. I was like, amazing. Enjoy your time. You're going to be like so refreshed. And she's like, I'm going to come back and no one's going to buy from me because like I took time off and I haven't made sales. What? What do you mean? It's so crazy because I genuinely get it. I feel in my soul when I talk about this topic, like part of me genuinely wants to like throw this microphone and like chop across the table and come over to the screen and like take it in front of me and like scream it. Like I think you guys can feel my emotion on this topic. We are so hard on ourselves and we are so used to seeing a highlight reel and seeing the good and the amazingness that everyone is like constantly sharing. I posted a video the other day or a photo the other day and my arm was like really kind of in a weird position. And I immediately, as I went to go post it, I start crying and I open up Photoshop and I was like, I wonder if I can make my arm smaller. Like we are so used to every single thing we do. We're thinking that people are going to like overanalyze it. Guys, no one gives a flying flip about my arm. No one cares. There was a boy in the photo. You think anyone's looking at my arm? Nope, they're looking at his fucking face. And they're like, a man near Ashley Bennington? She knows men? That's what people are thinking. No one cares about my fat ass arm. And also my arm looked fantastic and I need to be nicer to my body. Like that's how I feel about that topic. And you guys are thinking that because something goes wrong or something's not perfect or something's off, like your hair isn't done when you go to film a TikTok. No one cares. No one's looking at your hair. They're listening to what you are saying. No one cares that your feed has that one post that's off. No one cares that no one cares. The only person that cares is you. No one's paying attention. Now, what people do pay attention to is authenticity. And you know what people notice is everything is going perfect. And they're like, wow, that can't either be reality or even worse than people questioning you not being honest is people assuming that everything is so perfect that you don't understand them. I want to share a story that was really impactful to my clients last week about this topic. Oh my gosh, I get so heated when I talk about this. Like, I need to like take a breather because I get so heated on this topic. I hit my first $100,000 month about 1 year into business, which by the way, you guys, was one of the greatest months of my life. My best friend Lauren had her baby that month. And I remember I actually talked about this on stage that I was so excited about meeting her kid. At the time, we didn't know she was a girl, but we had girl vibes the last month, which was like totally fun because like, you know, just like you just felt the girl vibes around us. I was like, oh my gosh, little bestie. But I was so excited that my best friend was having a kid. And I was just so happy about all the things happening. I didn't even notice I hit that goal. I was at, by the way, like a $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 month prior. So I doubled my best month in 25 days. I didn't even notice, didn't even care. And the moment I hit that, I was like, whoa, I've hit this new level. I can start marketing that I've hit in 100K month. So guess what I did? I hit this new milestone. I was like, I'm going to start promoting this on everything. So every piece of content, thank God they're no longer online because I took them all down because I looked like a freaking clown. Every post was like 100K in a month. I hit 25K in 2 days. I did this, all this stuff. And you know what's interesting? My sales after that were the lowest they've ever been. Now you're thinking, wait a second, Ashley, you've scaled your business. You've done this incredible thing. You've made 6 figures in under 25 days. You blah, 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 all this stuff. Of course you're going to make sales. Everyone wants that. No, they don't. You know what everyone wants? They want someone who understands them. And if you're at 5K a month in your business, if you're at 10K a month, if you're trying to hit 6 figures in a year and you're seeing I've done 6-figure months, do you know what you're thinking? Well, she can't possibly understand what I'm going through. She's made it look so easy. She can't possibly understand me because I'm struggling right now to make content. So if she's like doing it effortlessly and I'm struggling with it, like she probably doesn't know how to help me there or she won't understand me or relate to me. So my sales were in the fucking garbage, okay? Then I went back and I started talking about my struggle from going to 10 to 20K months and how it took, 3 wrong turns to actually like everything fell. And then that hit my first 100K month. I started focusing on lower numbers. I focused on sharing about the gaps that I did in my pursuit of scaling. And all of a sudden I had the best 2 sales months of my life. Now, do I think that after you have a lot of sales, can you have a low month and then you pop up? Sure. I think naturally that was part of it. But once I started changing my messaging to mistakes I made, things I wish I would have done better, gaps that I had in my pursuit of scaling, people started messaging me and they're like, whoa, that's exactly what I'm struggling with. You get it. And when I started seeing the words, you get it, pop on my screen over and over again from dream clients, from people who bought from me pretty much within 20 minutes of messaging me, people who were buying from me that found me that day, I was like, wait a second, bitches, now I get it. I get it. It's not about how much I've accomplished or how much money I've made or anything else. No one gives a shit. It doesn't actually matter because anyone can write down any amount of money on a piece of paper. Anyone can write down or screenshot, or God, did you guys know that there's fake Stripe screenshots? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing until more recently. Someone told me about it. People can lie about anything, but what you can't lie about is experience. Because when you can actually speak to someone in a way where they're like, whoa, they must have lived and breathed this and experienced this like I have, that's when people say, they understand me. And that's when you create trust. And so I know that I'm speaking a lot from the lens of an entrepreneur, but it's the same reason that I, finally told my parents about my business. It's the same reason that I remember when I was at the sales job, I started making a lot of money. And I think my energy around money was very negative at the time. So I think my friends all hated me during that time because my energy around money was from a negative place. But when I became an entrepreneur, my energy around money really changed in a positive light. And so I started sharing with my friends like, yeah, my business did X amount, or this is what we achieved. And I'm struggling, or this isn't going well. And my relationship with them totally changed. Like they became like part of the business with me. And I think so often we think that people only love us or respect us or want to work with us or see us as valuable when we only put our like best foot forward. But I don't think I've ever loved some of the people in my life as much as when they were like needing me or when they were in a space where I could really like be my best self. I'll never forget my best friend Lauren when she had her daughter. Like Lauren's probably one of the toughest people I know. And she's also one of those people that like when things are really hard, she tends to make it really funny. So when she was pregnant with Nora, the last like 2 months, every time she was like, she was gaining weight because she was pregnant, by the way. And by the way, she was a beautiful pregnant person. But the last month, as we know, for a lot of women, you really, really swell up because you're about to have a baby. Of course, you're a growing human being. And every day I'd be like, she'd be like, I look like a fucking whale. And I'd be like, you look like a whale. And she made such light of being pregnant and gaining all this weight and whatever. And she was really chill about everything. She wasn't very nervous. And I'll never forget when we were sitting there, I was in the hospital room with her before she gave birth, not during, but like before, the night before. I'm sitting there and at that time, her and her husband were going to go to bed and get some sleep because she wasn't going to have the baby till the morning. And she looked at me and I gave her a hug and she grabbed my hand and she's like, Ashley, I'm scared. And it's crazy because like Lauren's always really tough and she always like approaches things with so much confidence. And in that moment, I was like, I don't know if I've ever like loved her more because I was like, this is my best friend being honest with me about something that's really scary. And then all of a sudden I got really scared for her, but I pretended that I was really calm. And I was like, oh my God, my friend's about to squeeze a baby out of her body. And I was like freaking out about it. But also, by the way, can we just talk about the fact that I then walked in on her epidural, which was the scariest thing to walk into in my entire life. I'm so sorry. But I was so like, there was this love for her in that moment. And then the next day she's all sweaty and she's just given birth and I'm watching her and I loved her even more because I'm watching her hold like my new little bestie. And I've had friends that have just sat down with me and talked about the struggles they've had. I've never loved them or respected them more. And I'm not saying that you have to be in a state of crisis to like receive love or affection or respect, but I think there's something to be said about like humans, we're so complex and we try to become this like two-dimensional thing by posting these static posts on Instagram. And it kind of like is this wall between like who we really are and what we want people to see. And the thing that has grown my business the most and the thing that I think has been the best for my friendships and my relationships is when like the 2D wall gets fucking eliminated. When I actually can just be authentically myself. Like even on these podcasts, I did my hair this morning. I was like, my hair looks like ass because, unlike many people, I have 3 strings of hair. So it doesn't really like the 3 strings don't always, lay perfectly. So my hair looked like ass and I have shorts on with this blazer. I know, how tacky. And I was like, who fucking cares? If someone is going to judge the way that I look on this podcast, not the way that I communicate or the way that I make people feel or anything else, then like they can go suck a big ass donkey dick because I just don't care. I just don't care. Like that does not matter to me. And that's how I feel about the situation is I don't believe that my value is tied to how pretty I can dress or how amazing my Instagram feed can look or how many sales I've had or how many clients I've had. Because there's a lot more successful people out there or more incredible talent out there than me that haven't hit those numbers because they don't have sales skills. And I have sales skills and I can convince a fucking Eskimo to buy ice. Like that is a gift of mine, which has led to more business success. If someone doesn't have that, they're going to struggle with that more than me. And that's just a natural gift that I have. And that has helped me accelerate my success. But there's people that are much better business coaches than me or smarter entrepreneurs, or they understand complex things that I haven't even naturally touched. My success in sales or my success in business doesn't make me better. And you thinking that people are only going to buy from you if you can always just prove how fucking good you are, instead of actually making people understand that you get them and that you can live and breathe life alongside of them, regardless, again, if you're a website designer, a business coach, if you are a sales expert, if you're whatever, it doesn't matter. You are so much more than your Instagram feed. You are so much more than your best moments or the days where your hair lays perfectly or days where like the filter just makes your eyes pop or whatever the fuck shit that we always tell ourselves is important. It just doesn't actually matter. And I don't think we talk about this enough. My sales have always been better when I'm transparent and I talk about my failures. My clients have always loved me more and wanted to be working with me more when I share, when I struggle, or how I process difficult things, or the difficult things that I talk to my own mentors about. Like my clients love that the most. They love it more than anything else that I can teach them. And I just want to like give that to you guys to just like take with you for the day, that your greatest asset is usually the moments that have defined you or have changed the way that you've looked at like what you're able to accomplish and what you're able to do. And for me, when I've been at my lowest lows or I've questioned myself or I've doubted myself, it's not the fact that that happened that defined me. It's the fact that I did something with that. And anytime shit has hit the fan, I figured it out. For all of you guys that are struggling right now in business or career or finance or whatever, if you got yourself into the hole, you can get yourself fucking out, okay? The same ladder you use to climb down into the hole, you can use that ladder to get out of it. There is no, I have failed or I have not been perfect or I have not had all these things figured out. There's just life. And the narrative that we share has to have balance and it has to show both sides, or else people are never going to really get to know you or respect you or trust you or value you the way that you want to be valued. And so that was so weighing on my heart. I feel like this week, I've been more honest with my clients, I think, than ever before in these last couple months, just sharing with them about my own journeys in business. And I have been trying to share a little bit more about this on Instagram. And it's actually been really eye-opening how many people have been like, whoa, I didn't realize that you struggle, or you that make this much money. I didn't think you could have bad days. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like when people are like Kylie Jenner, like if I had Kylie Jenner's money, I'd never struggle. And I was like, she's literally a human being. The money does not define her life. There's things that make your life easier with money, but it doesn't eliminate pain. It doesn't eliminate hurt. It doesn't eliminate trauma. It doesn't eliminate fear. Like those things just come with every single person. And if you try to mask that, then people aren't going to really see you as like a person at all. And they're not going to see you as a superhuman. They're going to see you as like someone that they just can never really get to know and connect with. And in the world of post-COVID and everyone is online trying to convince you that they make $8 bajillion in 10 freaking seconds, people want to see you're human. So if you can take away anything from this episode, or if you can just like, if I can leave you with anything, it's like, where is the human you? Where is the honest you? Where is the like transparent you? Where is the vulnerable you? Like, that's the person that I want to see on social. And I would buy from that person and work with that person and befriend that person every single day over the person that seems to have it all figured out. So don't let that piece of you like be hidden, because I actually think that that's one of your greatest assets.